Emmanuel Macron is 24 years younger than his wife, and the incoming French president is exasperated that people keep talking about it. Discussing the assumptions and rumors about his relationship, his wife, Brigitte, Macron told Le Parisien newspaper this week that if I had been 20 years older than my wife, nobody would have thought for a single second that I couldn't be. It's a sentiment many French women seem to relate to. Speaking to the Washington Post's Mary Jordan ahead of the election, some suggested that the Macrons' marriage was social revenge for years of powerful men seeking younger wives. But it raises the question, just how unusual is Macron's May to December romance in French politics anyway? When he takes office, Macron will be the only leader under France's Fifth Republic to be younger than his partner. No surprise there. However, the Macrons also will have the largest age gap of any French first couple under the Fifth Republic. Charles de Gaulle and Françoise Hollande were both close to a decade older than their partners when they entered office, but those relationships are less than half the age gap the Macrons have. The complicated love lives of some French leaders do make this comparison a little more tricky, however. To the delight of French tabloids, both Hollande and his predecessor, Nicolas Sarkozy, split from their respective partners during their time in the Élysée Palace. Hollande quickly entered a relationship with actress Julia Gayet, 18 years his junior, while Sarkozy married former model Carla Bruni, 13 years younger. Another factor is the fact that many French presidents have conducted well-known extramarital affairs. François Mitterrand's lengthy but covert relationship with art historian Anne Pinault is now widely acknowledged and pretty much accepted. The couple had a daughter together, and Mitterrand would appear with her in public later in life. Pinault was 27 years younger than Mitterrand. Around the world, the picture gets even more complicated. If you look at the leaders of the world's 20 largest economies, at least 3 have age gaps with their partners that are at least as big as the Macrons. Jacob Zuma, 38 years, of South Africa; Michel Temer, 33 years, of Brazil; and President Donald Trump, 24 years, of the United States. However, there are complexities here, too, some resulting from societal differences. For example, Zuma may top the above list, but he is also a polygamist. His wives are of varying ages. Little is known about the current wife of Saudi King Salman, so she is not included. Meanwhile, the age of Italian Prime Minister Paolo Gentiloni's low-profile wife, Emanuela Moro, is not publicly known. And Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is estranged from his wife, while Russian President Vladimir Putin split from his spouse in 2013, although he has since been linked with a number of younger women. However, it does seem clear that the leaders of the world's largest economies do tend to favor younger partners. There is only one who joins Macron in choosing an older spouse, Angela Merkel. The German Chancellor's husband, Joachim Seyer, is 5 years older. Once his high school drama teacher, now wife of incoming French President Emmanuel Macron, 64-year-old Brigitte Macron stepped into the spotlight long before her husband was elected. The 25-year age difference and the extraordinary way they met, he pursued her when he was her pupil, makes her the most talked-about French president's partner since Nicolas Sarkozy married singer-model Carla Bruni 9 years ago. Even Madonna is a fan, writing on Instagram after Macron's election that no one seems to care about their age difference nor insisted that Brigitte act her age. Elegant, always tanned and blonde, Brigitte is her husband's closest collaborator and he has pledged to give her an official role. Unlike in the US, there has hitherto been no definition of First Lady in the French presidency. As a teacher, I know young people. My fight will be education, to give them something other than hanging around in the stairwells of apartment buildings, she told Paris Match in an interview last year. Brigitte Macron, French president's teacher turned wife. The 25-year age gap between Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron makes her the most talked-about French First Lady since Carla Bruni 9 years ago. People, Agence France Presse, updated, May 14, 2017 12:36 IST. 5 shares. Email. Print. Comments. Brigitte Macron, French president's teacher turned wife. Emmanuel Macron has promised his wife Brigitte Macron an official role in his administration, AFP. Paris, once his high school drama teacher, now wife of incoming French President Emmanuel Macron, 64-year-old Brigitte Macron stepped into the spotlight long before her husband was elected. The 25-year age difference and the extraordinary way they met, he pursued her when he was her pupil, makes her the most talked-about French president's partner since Nicolas Sarkozy married singer-model Carla Bruni 9 years ago. Even Madonna is a fan, writing on Instagram after Macron's election that no one seems to care about their age difference nor insisted that Brigitte act her age. Elegant, always tanned and blonde, Brigitte is her husband's closest collaborator and he has pledged to give her an official role. Unlike in the US, there has hitherto been no definition of First Lady in the French presidency. As a teacher, I know young people. My fight will be education, to give them something other than hanging around in the stairwells of apartment buildings, she told Paris Match in an interview last year. During the campaign, there were dozens of carefully managed glossy magazine covers and then an appearance at her husband's side with her family at the Louvre Pyramid in Paris for his victory party, dressed in a striking blue Louis Vuitton outfit. But before all that she was another man's wife and mother of 3 who taught French, Latin and drama and was on course for a comfortable, if somewhat conventional, life. Brigitte Tronux was born on April 13, 1953, in Amiens in northern France, which is also Emmanuel Macron's hometown, into a prosperous family that owns a chocolate business. In the early 1990s, a confident 15-year-old acting in a production of Milan Kundra's Jacques and his master caught her eye. It was Emmanuel. She quickly agreed when he asked her to help him work on a script and a remarkable relationship began. Brigitte, who was then 39, recalls she was totally captivated by Emmanuel's intelligence. 2 years later he made an audacious prediction. At the age of 17, Emmanuel said to me, "Whatever you do, I will marry you," she told Paris Match last April. Emmanuel was sent off to finish high school at an elite establishment in Paris, but he kept pursuing her and gradually she was won over. Brigitte left her husband André Louis Auzier, a banker, in 2006 and married Macron a year later. She moved to Paris where he continued his studies and she worked as a teacher. "When I make up my mind about something, I do it," she said in a documentary. She didn't love me for what I had, for the standing, the comfort or the security that I could give her. She gave up all of that for me, Macron wrote in his campaign-launching book Revolution. Known as Bibi to friends, Brigitte is described as warm, down-to-earth and unfailingly positive by those who know her. One of them, Grégoire Campion, met her on a beach in the northern resort town of Le Touquet over 40 years ago. Their beach huts were next to each other and he remembers the young Brigitte wasn't a party animal but was very educated. Le Touquet has remained a part of her life and the now grandmother of 7 spends many weekends there with her family and her husband. It is a place to gather with her son and 2 daughters from her first marriage, who have grown up to be an engineer, a cardiologist and a lawyer. She enters the Élysée Palace with words of encouragement ringing in her ears. One of her short-lived predecessors, Valérie Trierweiler, had an unhappy experience as the companion of outgoing President François Hollande. The journalist left Hollande in 2014 after discovering he was having an affair with actress Julie Gayet. "I have only got thing to say to her, good luck Brigitte," Trierweiler said on Friday.